This is the latest episode of the Infinite Media Podcast, and you know what we're going to cover today. I have to, because Larian Studios released their most recent panel from hell, their last one for Baldur's Gate 3 before it releases on August 3rd, and that's for PC release. Unfortunately, they delayed the Mac release, but I still have NVIDIA GeForce now, so I can still play it. So before I was all like, okay, I'll get the game for the channel, da 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 da. But after watching this panel from hell, I'm like, I need to play this game because this is taking role-playing video games to a whole other level. Before, if you watched my review of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, then you might be familiar with my thoughts on that and how, hey, they need to start taking it into account AI to moreover voice act all the lines that they have in the video game. I think that's understandable, and to have more player choice. Or you can take the Larian Studios approach when you have such a big team and a skill team and just design the game with every line voice acted, with different scenarios played out and everything else. Plus, I'm going to talk about the panel from hell because of the scrutiny and the, I don't know even know if it's a debate or whatever. I'm familiar with some channels and then some posts on Twitter with a little snippet from the entire panel from hell, which was about 3 hours showcase of the game, and then they get, well, the people who are against it have issues with the scene with the bear scene. So we're not going to play the scene. I'm going to show the picture. Now, I watched this originally on my Apple TV with the YouTube app, and I didn't see the chat. The chat is way funny. If you haven't read the chat as the entire scene was playing, here's my stance. First, I'll give my stance, and then I'll talk about it. My stance is no, I do not condone bestiality. Well, I will not. I will laugh. I will not try to kill someone if they engage in the act. I was laughing when I first. I was like, this is funny, and this is not allowed. This is degenerate. I didn't use the word degenerate, but it was still funny. And they were so excited too. And I was like, okay, these are my people. And I say my people when I consider, hey, we enjoy role-playing video games. We like Larian Studios. We like Dungeons and Dragons. I fit within that camp. But not the whole bestiality thing. But just looking from the reactions, because people in chat, because I didn't remember, hey, this was a live stream. They have chat on YouTube. I need to start watching this on YouTube so I can see the responses. So the great thing about Larian Studios for this scene, they let the audience decide what will happen. Now, a lot of the detractors was like, oh, woke, this is woke agenda. Oh, they're pushing these things, this degenerate, da 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 da, blah, 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 blah. And my approach is, hey, this is Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons, I'm going to allow Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, any role-playing game, I'm going to not say that, oh, this shouldn't be in the game, because if anyone has played Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder or any pen and paper RPG, they'll know, hey, this is what gives us freedom of choice. We're allowed to role play whatever characters we want. I remember when I was DMing for a group, and then the group I had back in college, they weren't this level of becoming a druid and then having the sexual thing. Well, it really wasn't a sexual game. They were more like min-maxers and everything, but they were on the more evil side. So it's like, it was fun because they were able to do whatever they want. And I like that Baldur's Gate, well, not Baldur's Gate, I like that Larian Studios put this in the game to show that you can do whatever you want. Because if you were playing the game, number one, you wouldn't even reach this scene. And then we'll talk about the other one. You can play this entire scene without even reaching it. Plus, if you're playing a female character, this will be a female character. And then it will be a bear, number one. And we'll get into the fact. First of all, I want to say, this is not a bear. This is not a bear. This is a man who is a druid who shapeshifted into a bear. That's why we need to have an entirely different discussions with the ultra right, conservative, or whatever they want to be called, the Christians and all that stuff. Because I hear a lot of talk about the transgender community and how, oh, that's not a real man. That's just man presenting. That's not a real woman. He's just female presenting and stuff like that. But then when it comes to this scenario, they're like, oh, that's a bear. No. If you're going to take the other stance, then you must understand that this is not a bear. This is a man presenting as a bear. So technically, it's just sex between two men. And then I'm sure a lot of people will be against that too, but whatever. I thought it was funny. Some people say barf, what? These are just fun. This is ridiculous. What the heck? This was so funny, this part of the thing. Okay, so back to me saying about freedom of choice. You wouldn't even come across this. And then even if you're against it, they really, from what I've seen, that their sexuality and whatever has not been determined by the game studios. They can be whatever you want. You can romance. So that's what I'm assuming. That's what I can see. And if you actually watch the entire panel from Hell, then you will see that you can, depending on your character, you can romance whoever. So even if you're a female, you could still do this scene with the guy, and then in that case, the guy will be considered straight because your character is a female and it's female to male and stuff like that. And then based off the options, you can have this scene where he doesn't turn in a bear and he just stays into his human form. So it's really up to the player. So the fact that they have it in there and not taking it out to be legit or conservative or to not be seen as degenerate is a good thing in terms of player choice is great. Number 2 is that you could kill this guy if you want to take the account that this character is degenerate. I hate this scene. Okay, I hate this game. I don't want to play it. I saw that in Twitter. Oh, now that I saw this scene, someone's like, yeah, I'm not going to get this game anymore. I'm like, whatever. I really don't. Number one, I don't care personally, but I feel bad. Well, I really don't feel bad because they have plenty of money. One lost sale is not going to hurt them. But to not buy the game, it still hurts because it's less money. But they may or may not feel it. Either way, they're for player choice, and I'm all for player choice. Plus, if you don't like this scene, you could just go into the game and kill off the character because this is the druid. And based off of how they spoke, you would not encounter this guy or this scenario at all if you didn't. This might be a spoiler alert, but if you've seen the panel from Hell, then you would know that if you decide to kill the druids in whatever scene, I haven't played the early access yet. I might get onto it. I have been going through other things, getting things set up for future plans and all that stuff. That's all I will say for now. But yeah, you can kill all the druids. This guy will end up dead and go. You save the world. You make the world less degenerate if that's the approach you wanted to take. Now that I've watched the differences in player choice and how divergent the storylines can be, this might be that game that's like, this is the CRPG Skyrim that the world has been waiting for. Because Skyrim is like the game that I've played repetitively and started from the beginning and played over and over again, like actually replayed. I can't remember any other game that I have replayed. Not near to the level of Skyrim, and I'm talking about period. So this game will be it because you can do a huge number of ways. You can kill the druids and be the good people, or you can be the I've heard Dark Urge and then be some type of murder hobo. Plus, they have hirelings, so if you kill all the potential companions, you can still get hireling, similar to mercenaries and Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. So yeah, that's great. This is not a bear. This is a man presenting as a bear. Remember that. So it's okay. I recommend watching it. Don't just take snippets from Twitter or even YouTube reactions. I like to use that. Well, I do watch a lot of reaction videos, and I don't go to see the entire video unless it's a person or an issue that I actually care about. I will not get into my political issues because I don't care. As long I'm interested in making money. I'm interested in video games. I'm interested in reading. Interested in other things too, and that's what I care about. Everything else, if it does not hurt me, then it can stay. But yeah, this is it. Talk about Baldur's Gate 3. We're not going to show that anymore. I just want to say this game is shaping up to be the greatest. I have not played Solasta, Crown of the Magister. I do have it in my game library in Epic. I don't know when I'll get to it. I might get to it by the end of the year. Might not. I don't know. But Baldur's Gate looks like it's going first. And the fact that they have pretty much most of the races, because I haven't played 5th edition in a while, and I really don't have any of the books outside of the Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide, Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide. I think there's another book, a third book. And I'd have the Sword Coast Adventures Guide, but I don't have Tasha's Cauldron or whatever, or any of the future books. I know there's some psychic content. I don't have any of that stuff. But it looks like they have a lot of the races. I didn't see a Tengu, but they have all the base races. Half-Elf, Tiefling, Drow, Duergar, and then they have a lot of the core races. I think they have all of the core, not core races, core classes: Paladin, Monk, Rogue, Sorcerer. Of course, they have the Wizard in there. Fighters lame, but I actually don't remember seeing a fighter. But fighters are lame. Who cares? If you like playing fighters, sure. I like sorcerers. So this is going to be my first character. Whatever you think, let me know what your first character is going to be. What your first class is going to be. What is your playthrough going to be like? I'm thinking, because I want to, usually I do middle of the road characters so I can experience the entirety of the game. But seeing that I'm going to replay it, I'm probably going to do middle of the road characters, then do either a good character or an evil character, depending on how I feel the game went. I prefer to make evil characters, not like chaotic evil, crazy people. Of course, I have more affinity with lawful evil. Like, I think everyone understands, like, chaotic evil is not conducive to, you don't even want to have that type of friend because they could betray you anytime. Even, I know no honor among thieves, but even if you're doing evil and you killing people, random people, if you have any self-awareness, you would be all like, I don't like looking over my shoulders at this person could potentially kill me or stuff like that. So that's why you have to have some precautions, maybe a magic spell that binds you two together. That was one idea, because I was talking to someone and he said, oh, it's kind of difficult making a chaotic evil party or an evil party in general, because then you're going to have to, number one, find creatures to fight them, because of course they have good creatures in the players, not players, I mean, the bestiary. That's the other book, Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master Guide, and then Beaster. No, it's called Monster Manual. I keep on getting confused between Pathfinder and Dungeons and Dragons. Pathfinder's bestiary, Dungeons and Dragons, Monster Manual. Okay, so, but usually it's like, how are you going to structure a campaign where the party's evil but they're fighting good people and stuff like that. There was a great Pathfinder campaign that I was playing through. Unfortunately, we stopped for some reason. It was I forget the name of it, but it was one of the evil campaigns. I might remember it off the top of my head, but if I remember it, maybe I'll make a post or something. I don't know. But the story looks great too. And there was another thing that they said, which I thought was just so great. If you've seen my Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous videos or Pathfinder Kingmaker videos, God of War videos, that was a long time ago when I did that. Then I like doing as much of the game as possible. I strayed away from automatic completion or 100% completion or trying to get all achievements, trying to get all the trophies, because I believe that takes away from the game, especially your first time playing through. Because it's kind of like, I don't want to go out my way to try to hit this achievement, get this trophy. It kind of takes away from the game. I'd rather just play naturally, enjoy it, and then if I want to go towards the achievements and the trophies, plus it doesn't do anything for you. It's not like you're going to make money or anything like that. Now, if blockchain and the crypto stuff and then NFTs develop to the point where, hey, you can monetize your trophies or something like that, or get money or try to earn something from achievements and stuff, I think that would be cool and nice. They do have some games, I think Gala games, I still have to check them out, where you can earn the coin by playing games. I have to do more research on that. Don't quote me on that. But in this game, you can defeat sub bosses with a dice roll. I saw the scene. It was towards the end. You could have fought these people. The people were crazy. They were cutting up people. They were these surgeons. I don't know what type of goddess this was, or it might have been a god, where they believe pain is good and stuff like that, and then they're cutting up this body and say, oh, you're being cleansed by the goddess or whatever. I'm going to assume that it's a goddess, so we're going to go for goddess right now. So you were able to roll to convince. That's why I like charisma based characters as well, for the ability to talk and talk your way out of situations. That's another thing. I'm more of a combat type person, but I do enjoy some role playing. It's a role-playing game, but you could make a roll. They decided to talk them into, hey, embrace the goddess's views and values and do the same thing to yourselves. Got the roll, and then the lower tier assistants started killing themselves. This one chopped this one up, and they did. And then you had to make another roll for the boss. I think there was the main assistant, and then that boss killed / helped out, however you want to see it. But you were able to convince him to, hey, cut this head assistant open. And then you have the last roll. Now, it was just you two left. So one of you, because you already got them thinking, hey, I'm not going to cut you open. He's thinking, I'm not going to cut you open because I hate you. I'm not fighting you. I'm going to show you the greatness of the goddess. You could be bow out like, oh, no. I lied. Blah, blah, blah. Now it's just one-on-one. But you get another roll. You can convince them, hey, you do it to yourself, I'll do it to me. Like, this is like movie type, TV show type thing where, hey, I can now talk people out of these things. I can talk my way out of a problem. I don't have to fight. I don't know if you can go through the entire game not having to fight anyone. If they did that, that would be next level, especially for this type of game. Because the last good game that I remember that you can play the entire game without killing anyone, you know what I'm going to say. Come on. Give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, Dishonored. Amazing. You can play the entire game without killing anyone. And it shows in how the world reacts. You live a trail of dead bodies. All these blowflies are gonna be in the world, and then that affects you because now you got to deal with these blowflies. It's like crazy. So if you can play the entire game without having to fight, I think it's going to skyrocket the game to a next level. Larian Studios have already outdone themselves. Like Divinity Original Sin, when I played that, I already thought that was revolutionary because, hey, environmental effects. Hey, you use a lightning spell while they're standing in a puddle of water. Okay, some people are going to get electrocuted. Some people are going to get stunned. And now they're actually embodying the 5th edition spirit. So I don't know why people, well, if they're not real fans or whatever anyway, it's just a video game to them. So it's like, whatever. It's like outside people who don't understand the spirit of a video game or the spirit of something, and then they come in, so they're in the outside looking in, and then they're at their morality and views and their values on the community of the game. Because I've been a part of the let's say tabletop RPG community, and I am still part of it. I need to find a new group to play with, but it's not a bad group. We enjoy playing role-playing games, just like because they've been looking at the game, they enjoy playing video games. Some people play video games for different reasons. Some people play video games as a form of escape, especially with role-playing games. You can become something you're not. You can become someone better, whether that be looks or intellect or physical power, strength, wealth. You could do that. Some people play video games just to hang out with their friends, their buddies. It's another bonding experience, shared storytelling experience. I had the most fun with my friend group in college when I played RPGs. Also when we played Yu-Gi-Oh! Too. Just bonding around games and stuff like that. It was just so fun. That was one of my favorite times from school. Also, I remember this one time. It has to do with exercising too. We were doing sprints, even though I thought I was gonna die. Sprints are just horrible. But now looking back on it, it's just bonding. Bonding is great, and role-playing games are just the greatest way to bond. Really, any game, because I feel like Destiny. A lot of people bonded over that, but this game too is because they have multiplayer. So now you're not just playing with yourself, you're playing with other people. And I recommend that if you have a group of friends, you should definitely get them into playing this game. I'm going to try to see if I can find anyone to do a one. It would be nice. It would be nice. I have to think about it. We'll see. So that's all I want to say about Baldur's Gate 3. This is the Starfield's coming up to, but this has already proven itself because of early access. It's already great in early access. So the opening part is great. The foundation is great. Now it's all about, can they finish the game? Because I know a lot of issues with Wrath of the Righteous when it comes to some of the endings, like the Demon Mythic Path ending and the Lich Mythic Path ending, with some of the choices that you are forced to make because you're already following the momentum of your previous choices. Then a lot of players were turned off like that. Like, hey, okay, I wanted to be evil, but I didn't want to be this evil. I believe they fixed this in Larian Studios Baldur's Gate 3. I think they looked at it and saw, hey, we don't want to railroad our players. We want to tell our players, hey, we understand. Like, okay, you made this choice for whatever reasons. You made this choice for whatever reason. You made this choice for whatever reasons. Making these 3 choices does not mean you're on track to make this choice, and we're not, and we're just gonna make it play out. We're gonna force it, or like, okay, hey, now you're presented with this situation. In this situation, you can have complete you can have even the same reasons, or it might be how the choice is presented, how you feel at that moment. A lot of things go on in the human brain. So they could go out, make all these three moves, and you might think they might make this move, but they might make a 360 and go all the way over here. And I like that they put in the game where you can do that. For example, you could go with I forget their names. I have to play the game. The bad guys. You can go with the bad guys. You can say, okay, I'm bad guy. Da, 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 I'm doing this. Okay, I killed druids. Da, 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 I'm going there. Okay, now the Harper's with us. I don't want to follow the bad guys anymore. Probably the guilt from killing the druids was weighing on my conscience a little bit. So I'm like, I don't want to do it. Okay, now the Harpers are here. Okay, no, I don't want to just kill them. And now, okay, I'm a good guy now. Or, and now that could be the beginning of your redemption arc. Or if you don't do the redemption arc there, that might be later on you'll have another redemption arc. So it opens up rooms for that type of story as well, where Wrath of the Righteous falls short, where, hey, you can't have a redemption arc unless you go demon mythic path, and then at the 8th level or whatever, when you change into like a gold dragon or something, and then, hey, you're no longer chaotic evil, you're lawful good, you go through this alignment mission, da da da. So it's built in. It's nice that you can choose, you can go along, whatever, and then you can change. You're not railroaded depending on your past actions. I'm sure your past actions will affect future scenarios. For example, your past actions, your companions will not just forget about those decisions. You still make those decisions, but you can talk to them and you can convince them to stay with you, or you can fail. I'm assuming it's going to be depending on dice roll and depending on what you say to them and everything like that. Or you could just fail to convince them, or you could kill them. You could not even meet them, because there was a situation in the panel from hell where there was a guy sticking out his arm for help, and then the player, the presenter, decided with that character at that point, he chose the option where the guy ended up getting his arm cut off, you being the one who cut off the arm. I will not explain how they really presented it, but it was kind of cool how they presented it. My initial play of the game, I would just help him for the simple fact that I want to experience everything, and you're just gonna cut the guy's arm off. That's some real dark stuff. Like, but hey, choice. I would do it too, just not in the first playthrough, maybe the second. So yeah, if you were on the fence about getting this game, I'm gonna say get it. For what I see, after I play more of it, I can do a review, or I can do a little short saying, hey, this game is amazing. This is the best game I've played in 2023. They did a great job of moving up the PC release. Give it a little bit of time to marinate before Starfield comes out. Now people can spend the entirety of August, because they do have the 72-hour time frame before it comes out to play the game. That's if you buy it before then and everything. So August is the month of Baldur's Gate 3. So if you were thinking about buying it, go ahead and buy it. Let me think about other games to play, and then let me know what you think about other games. Yeah, that was a mess up, but it's okay. Thanks for watching.